A very good morning to all. Today we'll start with the new chapter, chapter number 12, and the name of the chapter is Early Humans. So in this chapter we'll study about the life of early humans. So long ago there lived early humans on earth, and they were like us, but they were not totally like today's human being. They lived in caves and they learned to adjust to their natural environment, that is to their surroundings. And here in page number 74, you can see few pictures. You can see them making tools with the help of stones and bones. And they used these tools as a weapon to hunt animals. And in the third picture, you can see early humans, they discovered how to make fire and how to use it. So after the discovery of fire, they started to cook their food, that is their raw meat which they got by hunting animals. Second one is they found that the fire gave heat and light, and they used it to keep themselves warm in cold caves. Next one is they found that the wild animals were scared of this fire, and they used it to keep themselves safe and away from the wild animals. So these are the few ways how they used this fire. Now here there is a question for you. Mention the two ways in which early humans used fire. So I hope you can write this answer, and you have to write it in your notebook with proper date and chapter number. Now let's move on to the chapter, but before this let's be familiar with few words. So what do you understand by prehistory? Thousands and thousands years ago, when early human they first appeared on earth, they did not know how to read and write. So there is no written history of this period. That's why this period is known as the prehistory. And what do you understand by history? It is the period of time that comes after the invention of writing. So it has some written documents. So we can also say that history is the study of our past. Next one is archaeology. So what do you understand by archaeology? It is the study of human past life and activities using remains and material remains. So this means that how did the early humans they lived, where did they live, and what they ate, how did they keep themselves away from wild animals. So studying about the human past life and activities is known as archaeology. And the people who study about the past life of humans is known as archaeologist. So here the definition is the person who study about the human past life and activities is known as an archaeologist. So here they dig into earth to find remains such as bones of dead humans and dead animals. And they also look at material remains such as tools, ornaments, pottery, coin, jewelry and so on. So the person who study about human past life and activities is known as an archaeologist. Now let's discuss the birth of early humans. So in prehistoric time, the earth was very different from what it is today. The earth was very cold, and humans were also very different from what they are today. So after the evidence collected by the scientists, it is said that man evolved from apes. That means human and chimpanzees, they had a common ancestor called the great ape, which lived in Africa. Now here ancestor means any person from whom one is descended, or who lived in the past, or a person who came before. For example, our great grandfather. So after the evidences collected by the scientists, it is said that man evolved from apes, and humans and chimpanzees had a common ancestor known as the great ape. And here you can see the evolution Evolution means the process by which human beings developed. So here you can see in the prehistoric period the great ape and the development of human being. So this process is known as evolution. That means the process by which human beings developed. And do you know what is the scientific name for human beings? The scientific name for human beings is Homo sapien. Homo means man, and the meaning of Homo sapien is wise man. So this was about the evolution. Next, we'll discuss about the life of early humans. So the life of early humans was very dangerous and very difficult. They lived in small groups and they lived in caves. That's why they were known as cavemen. They moved from one place to another in search of food and water because they did not know how to grow crops. And they hunted animals which they ate raw because they did not know how to make fire. They fished and they also collected fruits, wild berries, nuts. They also ate roots which they dug underneath the earth. So, because of this, they were also known as hunter-gatherers. Hunter because they used to hunt animals for raw meat, and gatherers because they used to collect wild foods like fruits, wild berries and nuts. So, this was about the life of early humans. As time passed, early humans, they learned to make tools of stones and bones, and they used these tools as weapons to keep away the wild animals. They used these tools for hunting, for digging up the roots, for fishing, and they also used it to cut raw meat. And here you can see they use these tools to cut the skin of animals which they use to make clothes. So this period of time when the early humans, they used tools made up of stone is known as the Stone Age. So here you can see the definition. The period of time when early humans used tools made of stone is called the Stone Age. So this was about the life of early humans. Now here you can see a painting on cave wall. So the early humans, they did not know how to write, and they used to draw paintings and pictures on the cave wall. As we have already discussed that the early humans, they lived in caves, and through these pictures they used to express their feelings. It also showed their life events and daily activities. And the early humans, they used to draw things that they saw around them, like the wild and big animals, hunting scene and so on. And to draw these pictures, they used natural colors. They used animal fat, animal blood, charcoal and so on. So this was about the painting on cave wall. Next, we'll discuss about the making use of fire. So for thousands and thousands of years, the Stone Age people, they moved from one place to another in search of food and water. But the discovery of how to make fire and how to use fire was a turning point which changed the life of early humans. So they might have discovered fire when polishing two stones while making tools. Now let's discuss why it is known as a turning point in the life of early humans. Because in the beginning, they used to eat raw meat. But after the discovery of fire, they started to cook their food. They also found that fire gave heat and light, and this they used to keep themselves warm in cold caves. The third point is that they found that the wild animals were scared of fire. So they used this fire to keep away the wild animals and to keep themselves safe from wild animals. That's why it is known as the turning point in the life of early humans. Next, we'll discuss about a change in early human from hunter-gatherers to farmers. That will continue from page number 78. So here, as time passed, the early humans, they noticed that plants grew from seed, and they also learnt about edible fruits, vegetables, leaves and roots. Here, edible means the fruits and vegetables which are fit to be eaten, and this led to the discovery of farming. Farming means cultivating or growing of crops, vegetables. So, after the discovery of farming, they started to grow or cultivate many crops, vegetables, and they also started to domesticate animals. That means they began to tame and keep some animals like cows, dogs, sheep, bullocks and so on. Here the word tame means making these animals friendly with human beings or making them not dangerous. So along with farming, they also started to domesticate animals. Now this discovery of farming also was a turning point in the life of early humans. Now let's discuss why it is so. Because in the prehistoric time, that is the Stone Age people, they moved from one place to another in search of food and water because they did not know how to grow crops. But after the discovery of farming and for doing farming, they settled in one place. They built their houses, and these houses were made up of mud, which were known as hut, and many huts together formed the villages. And the early humans, they were good farmers. They started to produce extra fruit crops, that means more and more food crops to support the larger villages. So this was about the life of early humans. That's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.